All right, so let's start this piece by saying that if you want to grid this, I'm going to walk you through the gridding process. But your paper needs to be the same size as this. So this is A4 printing paper, which is 8.5 by 11 inches or 28 centimeters by 21.5 centimeters. So you either want to, if you have a bigger paper, you want to sketch out that on your book. For those of you who want to try sort of the grid method, I'll go over that afterwards, like the measurements of Kitty. Want to try to figure out the proportions on your own with your own size paper. I will go over that. But I'm going to start with this. And for those who do not have a ruler, you're going to want to take your printer paper and fold it. Isn't this a great shot? I belong to this website, this group on Facebook. Sorry. You're going to fold it twice. You're going to fold it 3 times. And you're going to fold it 4 times. So that you have something that looks like this. And then when you open it, you'll have 16 equal size rectangles. I would then recommend, if you don't have a ruler, just taking a book or something that can give you a straight edge or even another piece of paper. And with your pencil, sketch out, redraw out the lines accurately, right? So that you have a grid that you can see. For those of you who have a ruler, I'm going to show you on the source with the marker what I'd like you to do on your paper. So if you don't want your paper to look all wrinkled like this, you're going to take your ruler. And I'm going to be doing this with a marker just so you guys can see it better. But I'd like you to use a pencil. Don't use a marker, obviously, because we want to ultimately be able to get rid of these pencil lines. How's everybody doing today, by the way? Good? Good. All right. So when you're not folding, you're doing this. You're finding the halfway point of each side. So if you're using an inch ruler, it's 5.5. And the halfway point on each edge. I have tape here, but I can still mark it and draw it. And then once you've got the halfway point on each edge, you can line them up. And this is equivalent to fold number 1. You can see, maybe I need my silver marker. Silver marker. Always running. Here we are. See if the silver marker will be more visible. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a little bit more visible. And then again, you're going to find the halfway point on this side. If you're working with inches, it's 4.25. 4.25. So this is kind of a beginning step in drawing where you can start to learn where things really are on the 2-dimensional surface. It will surprise you how big or small things are, where they are. You'd probably all be tempted to center this cat face right in the middle of the drawing, but notice actually where. So here's the middle. Notice, where is this cat's face exactly in the center? No, it's a little bit off, right? So this starts to tell you kind of where things are versus where your left brain wants to tell you they think they are. So it's often it's a great beginning. Let's see. And then you're going to do the halfway point of each halfway. So for 5.25, it's 2.75 inches or 7 centimeters. 2.75. I'm going to come up here and do the same thing. Notice I'm always lining up. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing on the short side. So the quick and dirty is to know that the halfway point of 4.25 is about 2.2. This is when inches get really annoying.
It's always annoying.
It's just a stupid measurement system. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know if you guys have ever read Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, like why certain people are successful. And they've looked at, like, for example, why many Asian cultures tend to be good at math. And it's really related to the language. So in Chinese and Korean, I am told that it's like that the way you count is the words for counting are connected to the words for adding up numbers. But for some reason in English, it's like the words don't really relate to, they don't relate to a physical, I can see this to, it's hard to explain, long story about it. But if there's a language issue, right, in calling things what they are. And God, I forget where I was going with that. Anyway, inches are part of that. Inches are stupid. They don't relate to anything visually that we can see that is like a measurement number. Centimeters, you know, and it's like kind of stupid the way they're broken up into pieces. I don't know, it's kind of silly. Anyway, lots of things wrong with it, but I'll just stop here. Happy to pick that up later. And I don't know, Kyoko, if Japanese is the same way, but I think it is, right? It's just the numbers connect to the visual that we have of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it becomes easier to translate the language of numbers or words for numbers with the physical, what it is. Just makes it easier to add and subtract. Isn't that interesting that that can be connected to the language? How you describe things makes it easier or harder to do something. So, all right. So those of you who are working with this, you should have your grid here. Those of you who are working with this should have your grid here. I'm going to take a picture of this right now so you can see what it looks like. Kyoko, are you on this thread?
No.
Okay, let me add you in.
Thank you.
Yeah, hold on. Just a minute. Awesome. Okay. Let me take this. I assume everybody else is on the thread. There we are. So here's our beginning. Keep this. You did a tea ceremony at Reuters?
Long time ago.
That is so cool. Oh my God. Good memory, Jessica. All right. So at the beginning, I'm going to sketch kind of around the edge of Kitty. Oh, wow. It's really just here. So I'm going to put some of the inside lines in as well. Let's start with these lines. All right, I'm very specifically avoiding the eyes. I don't want you to have anything. I don't want you to deal with those yet. So here, I know this is tricky to see. Boy, it's amazing how much you cannot see the lines here. Let me try with my yellow. A little bit better. I'll send a picture over, but it'd be nice, I think, to have a visual.
I'm gonna try to finish my sheep.
Excellent. There we go. That's a little bit easier to see. I don't know why it's so hard to see. Give me a second. I'm going to what am I going to do? This a little bit here. I'm going to fiddle with my lights just a second and see if I can get a better, see if we can get better light. A little bit better. I need one more. That's a little bit better. So I'll take a picture of this and send it on the WhatsApp thread so you can see it. I don't know why everything's so dark today. Weird.
Is it a gloomy day where you are?
It's bright. In fact, here, I'm gonna look at these shapes. In fact, I have to put curtains, I have to put blackout curtains up because if I put the light in, it's even harder to see. It's almost impossible to see the video screen. All right. So for those of you who are measuring, so those of you who are using your grid, you obviously locate, kind of your dots where they are. And I want you not to worry about texture right now. We're really just doing borders and outlines. So go ahead and start with this. For those of you who want to kind of not draw this by the grid, I'm going to draw this line down the center. There we go. This is the center of the kitty. And then you can see the halfway point right here because we've got our grid. So you can see where here's half. Oh yeah, it's kind of nice because we've got our halfway and our quarter points marked out for us. So the key here really is to figure out, like, once you draw this in, let me start with this since I just want to make sure everybody's in. So those of you who are drawing from your, what's that?
Nothing.
Okay. Those of you who are drawing with the grid, you're kind of doing this, right? You're going around where the edges are. You're coming in, you're coming down, you're coming up here. Right? And then like down like that. You're coming across. Going up a little bit. You see how I'm following? I'm following the shape, but I'm making sure the shape interacts with the grid in the right way. I can see the nose. It's here. Just very quickly doing this. Right, so that's the beginning. And then you can go to if you'll notice, I'm really sketching in the light and dark, the major kind of light and dark shapes. So I'm kind of sketching the eye, but I'm also really paying attention to the shapes around the eye. So it's kind of dark down here by the cheek. There are these white streaky areas here. I kind of want to know where everything is. Does anybody want me to show the measurements, or are you all using the grid? Is anybody not?
The grid.
You're not using the grid?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to wean myself off.
All right, good. So those of you who are using the grid are just going to keep using this, but Sandra, I'll walk you through doing this.
Thank you.
Okay. So those of you who are using the grid are just going to put in all the yellow lines as you see them. So I know that if I'm kind of trying to find the relationship, right, of the width of the face, I guess if I really want to do that, it's just got to be the width of the face. If I go from the whole length, right, Sandra, from here to here, it is really the 8.5 by 11 marker. So I'll start by putting my straight line here. And then I'm going to find my quarter and my halfway point. Oh, bring it up a little bit. So this is a little bit to the left of the center. And then I'm finding the quarter points. So this is half. You can use your calipers for this if you want to.
Yes.
Totally valid way to do it. If you want to be more accurate, right? So divide your halfway and then note where those are on here. So here's half, here's 3/4, here's 1/4. And then at the halfway point, really, so are you using a longer piece of paper?
I'm using a smaller piece of paper.
You're using a smaller piece of paper. Okay, so what you want to do is measure this. So use your calipers to measure this. And then see how much, actually, let me get where's my ruler? Ah, there it is. My ruler is the only thing big enough, right? So I want to measure this in relation to this. Or Sandra, if you want to kind of figure out the closer in, like the relationship of the eye, we could add on the extra space later. Like it looks to me like actually all this part is just fur that's coming off the edge of the cat. Can you see that? Like
Yeah, part of it is the face, and then it's
part of it is the face. I think the face really stops here.
yes, exactly.
So let's stop our line instead of bringing it all the way in. Let's stop our line here. Okay, and then I'm going to check this relationship to this, and I'll see that like this length is about 1/2 inch longer than this length. So if I come here and then I go up a little bit, right, like this, I can, yeah, that's about right. I can go to my halfway point and draw that line across. So here is the end of the kitty. So this line is just a little bit longer than the vertical.
Okay.
And then notice I'm so proud of you for doing this. This is really great. And then I'm going to check a couple of other things. I'm going to check and see how far it should be this way, right? Do I have this correct? So part of it is, let's see, here's the edge. So this is 1, 2, 3. So I can divide this line into thirds, equal thirds. Yep. And I can see 3. That 1/3 is on this side and 2/3 is on this side. So I can see that. So I can see that I need to bring this out a little bit this way. 1, 2, 3. So my cat actually ends about here. Can you see that?
Yes.
What I just did there. Right. So I'm giving, even though I know that I could draw this cat, this and fit it in the whole page, I noticed that the location I have for this means that I scoot this over just a little bit. So this should be 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. 1/3 on this side, 2/3 on this side. That's helpful to know. 2, 3. So let me send that across too. But those of you who are not doing the grid, who are doing this, you can kind of ignore these numbers, or you can try and incorporate them in if you want to. Excellent. Stop. I want to make sure that's clear. This is from here to here. There we go. Excellent. And as you get your outside lines in, go ahead and send them over to me so I can take a look at them. I can look at them and see. And is anybody wanting me to turn this upside down? We might want to turn this upside down a little bit later. All right, so I'm going to quickly try and sketch out. So Sandra, try not to get confused by the the grid lines.
Okay.
They will confuse you. I can tell you right now. Think just about those. Think just about the vertical and the horizontal line. Our left, Rasha, or the cat's left?
Our left.
So why are you having a hard time?
I don't know, like I just sent you the grid one. Something looks off.
Yeah, I think you have moved up the eye too high. If you look at the grid here, I'll show you. And the reason you're having a hard time, there we go. Okay, so here's your square, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have put your eye too high up.
Okay, it just needs to be moved down a little.
Well, yeah, and look at the shape. It's all contained in this rectangle. It doesn't come out.
Yes, okay.
Yes. And really pay attention. What's messing you up is that you think these two should be the same, and they are not.
And they're not.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the moment to turn everything upside down. Just to really mess with you. If you don't want to work upside down, you don't have to. But he's looking better than you think.
Okay.
Yep. It'll help you see the shapes better. Also, there's this tendency to oversimplify things. Like people try to do, here, I'll show you very quickly here. People try to make cat's eyes look like this, like an almond shape.
Yes.
That's not what's really happening. More like a tetrahedron or something. It's got like many sides. So really look at the shape and not what you think the shape should be, if that makes any sense. That's your mantra in drawing, always. Look at what the shape is and not what you think it should be. Oops, oh, no, I see. Oh yeah, yeah, I can do that. You'll see, I'm not getting this necessarily right either on the first go. I'm also taking it kind of, you'll see the nose is much bigger than you think it is. These eyes are in different shapes. Why are these eyes different in different shapes? Anybody?
Because the cat is not straight on.
Right. So what's happening?
So there's a, is it called foreshortening if it's on the left?
Yeah, yes. There's
The
a perspective
perspective
issue. There's a perspective issue. So as things turn away from us, they change shape because they kind of rise up off the page. So that's really what's happening there. I think next time I do this, I'll do a separate one for people who are, I'll do a separate drawing for people who aren't using the grid. But Sandra and I will muddle along as best
Yes,
as we
absolutely.
can.
I'm not using a grid either.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
See how it goes. You're like, yeah. Love that.
I think
sorry, Kyoko, I didn't
Claudia
see that.
graduated to not doing a grid.
That's looking pretty good. Here. I'm looking, Kyoko. Okay, this eye needs to be a little, I'm pointing here where you need to work. This eye needs to be bigger, Kyoko.
Bigger,
Look.
yeah.
At that all these shapes are like fitting basically in this entire square. So good. And this eye is going to be bigger than this eye.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Why is that? Is that because it's a lopsided cat? No, it's because the cat, this side of the cat is turned away from you. If you'll notice, here is this whole side of the cat is here. Yeah. I'm just doing this for everybody now. Don't worry. Not just you. This is the entire half of the cat. If this cat was looking straight at you, this half would be equal to this half. But because this cat is not, this half is, it takes a different shape. It's the simple way, and it's smaller. So this side of the cat is actually twice the size of this side, even though these are actually equal halves.
Okay. I'll be right back. I have to get the eraser. Okay.
Yes. Yes. You should always have an eraser with you. I have had people say to me, oh, I need an eraser. I'm like, yes. Yes, you need an eraser. Let's see, so if this is here, third is here, third is here. 1, 2, 3. Yes. So if you've finished with your sketch, I'll take a look at your sketch. Let's see. Hold on, I'm going to look at it upside down since that's where it is. Hold on. Hi, Joshwayne. Right. I think you're going to find, Jane, that you may need to bring in your nose. Go ahead and add your eyes in and see what happens. It's hard for me to evaluate until you get your eyes in. I think things are in the right places, but go ahead and get these inner shapes in and we'll see what adjusting we need to use. Yep. Toshween, I think you also need to make this eye just, maybe you do. Actually, maybe you don't. This eye might need to be a touch bigger, but we'll take a look at it as we go on. Otherwise, everything looks pretty good. I definitely think, yes, this eye, Toshween, needs to come up closer to the edge. I want you to look at the shape. You have it, it needs to come up a little bit closer to the edge here, and it needs to be a little bit wider down here. There we go. These are very minuscule things, though. Good job, guys. I'm trying to get my guy in here. Notice this, I feel like this eye, well, there's a lot of pieces to this eye, first of all. Just a little higher. Move that higher. That's great. Interesting. Yep. So one of the things when you start drawing without the grid is you start looking a lot at in relation to how one thing is related to another. So you'll notice I just ran a straight line across here to see where this eye is in relation to this one. This one comes up just the time, they're almost lined up, but this one comes up a little bit higher or lower if we're looking at it upside down. There's a tiny little space here if I were to run this straight across. That helps me kind of keep things in perspective. So did everybody hear what I was saying about the painting class?
Yep.
Anybody interested in that?
I'm always
Leah, I
interested.
didn't hear it. Sorry, I was late. It's Nina.
Okay. Hi, Nina.
Hi.
So this may not be, well, you've done a couple painting. Have you done any painting classes?
I did too. I just have a lot of work conflicts. I tried
Yeah.
to multitask, but it's
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of hard.
It's hard. All right. So I am going to do, starting in June. So in April, we're going to move from acrylic to watercolor and spend 2 months there. And then in June, all these classes, except for this one, this is going to stay beginning drawing all year. And Marie's beginning her pastel landscape class will stay the same all year. But for all the during the week, work week classes, we're going to move from watercolor to figure drawing in June. But I know some people are going to want to keep painting. So I'm going to run a painting class that everybody in all these time zones can take. It'll be during the work week though. And it's going to be a painting, you're going to be painting from life. So I'm going to have you each set up a still life in your house, and you're going to photograph it so I can help correct it. And you're going to be working from life, and you're probably going to be painting the same thing for 3 or 4 classes. So it's not really for beginners, I would say, this particular painting class. If you have done it, if you want to do it, I would recommend taking as many painting classes as possible. I'll talk to you more about it. It's still evolving, the concept.
When you mean painting, Leah, do you mean watercolor or acrylic? Because I've done watercolor before, but I've
Acrylic.
not done as
It's
much
going to be
acrylic.
acrylic and oil. And those who want to go to oil are going to go to oil. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's not watercolor.
Okay.
So what if
Hmm?
what if one wants to continue watercolor? One just works alone.
I mean, you could,
But
no
I don't
reason
think I want
not
to paint apples and cups.
Then you would not do that class.
Okay.
Then you would not do that class.
You're recording all of them too, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. This class will be a little different though, because you're going to need to, it'll be less helpful to have a recording of that class because everybody's going to have their own still life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, but I think it's very important that those who are painting start to get practice working from life. And the easiest thing that we can set up is a still life. So this is going to be a pretty specific class for that. There'll be other classes where you can do whatever you want. In most classes, actually, you can do whatever you want. You can, I mean, Sandra, you've been doing watercolor in most of the painting classes and sometimes drawing. Like, you should really feel free to use whatever medium you want, but if you're wanting to follow along with the instruction, so if you're more of a beginner, it might behoove you to do whatever the instructor is doing. So anyway, we'll talk more about it. We'll talk more about it as I develop the concept a little bit more. I want to make sure everybody has, there's also going to be an abstract painting class starting in June. So that might be a better place. And probably the materials will be more what you want to choose. I have to talk to the instructor about that, actually. So when I find out more about that.
Leah, when you're talking about materials, can I ask you a question about easels? Like, what's
Sure.
the best thing to get? Because a friend of mine sent me a link because Michael's is having some 60% off sale.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah. So I'm like, what do you get? Do you get tabletop? Do you get the standing? Do you get?
Well, it depends on where your space is for doing your, it depends on where your space is. So my question to you is, where, oops, I can see this needs to come up a bit. Where are you painting?
Like right today, like I'm in my den, so there's no natural light, which is just sketching, but I could do a standing one or I could do a tabletop one. It doesn't really matter.
It's more like what will work for you.
Yeah,
I mean,
what will
so
work.
for people who are working at a kitchen table, it's obviously, it's the tabletop easel. And there are some really nice ones. I can send you links for.
Yeah,
But if
yeah, there are really nice ones on Amazon. The ones they have at Michael's are pretty shitty.
Yeah.
That's so good to know. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are
no,
really
that's
shitty.
why. Okay.
Yeah.
I've gone through all easels on Michael's, and I didn't find one that I thought was good.
Yeah, they are kind of shitty. So probably you want to go to Blick. Maybe I will put together. That's a really great question, Nina.
They have
So I guess
really good at the Amazon. They have really good ones at Amazon.
What do you have? Yeah. So
I look up the one I bought for table.
Are you using a tabletop easel, Diana?
I have one tabletop and one standing. So
Right.
I vary between sitting and standing.
Okay. So actually, that's the real way to go once you get serious about it. Diana shows up for class every like several days a week. So I have this like drawing, right? If you're in that position, if you have like room you can designate, you could have a standing and a sitting easel. I tend to work at standing easels, but it is tiring. So after a while, so I actually do a fair amount of work at this desktop. Let me take a picture of my setup. Yeah, I would say I wouldn't even go to Amazon. I'd go to Blick.
I'm gonna pull up the one I have and see if I can send it to you guys.
All right.
you know,
So
just
here
a-
is my setup right now.
can't see it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Jessica. A good H frame is a good one. I tend to like the wooden ones. So right now I'm at a desk. I'm at a kind of drawing desk.
I
But
don't think
here's
we
where
can
I work.
see you. I don't think we can see you, Leah.
I just sent you a WhatsApp picture.
Oh, okay. I'm just
Yep.
looking.
Yep. And then
Oh yeah.
here.
Okay, this is good. So wood is better. And would you recommend a desk? I'm sorry, I have all these questions because I think I want both, like Diana does. But do you recommend like a desk one first, like a sitting, and then later on a standing?
I just found the one I bought that's really good. Gonna see what it's cost. It cost $50.
That's really good. Michael's is like, yeah, okay. I don't know if I can get Blick and Jerry's in Canada though, because I don't want to pay customs. I'll look. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. This is helpful. So just an A-frame then, just an A-frame, okay.
I'm gonna send this one to you. If I can get this to work.
Right. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So that, and great question, Nina. You're reminding me of all the things I need to sort of, figure out how to cover, because I hadn't really covered that. So yeah, the picture of the setup I just sent you is an H-frame easel. I showed it to you with the painting and then without it. You'll see I have a little cart next to me. So I can pull, which has all my paintings, my paint supplies in it, organized by color. And then it rolls. And then the H-frame goes up and down. So you can sit down or you can stand up. So if you just want to get one, maybe you should, oh yeah, that's a great one. Yes, that's essentially the one I have.
Really good. It's a
Great
really
one.
good one.
It's an H-frame, yeah. But if you only have room, like if you're working at your kitchen table, then you should get an H-frame, a tabletop easel, those are pretty cheap to get, and they can help you, it's all kind of based on your space. Like,
Yeah.
where is your space? This actually brings up a good point, which is, as you're starting to do more art, how do you make it? By the way, is everybody jumping into starting with your darker areas once you've got your shades?
Yes.
I'm happy to look great. So you guys do this, and I'm going to talk a little bit about a studio. Oh, notice how as soon as I get these darks in, this cat is like freaking staring. So let me talk about this, because, oh, Kyoko, I love that piece. So yes, that's a nice little tabletop. That works.
It
So
is
if you're
really
working,
good.
so
But
let's
the
talk.
standing, I mean, the A-frame I have, you can definitely sit by as well, because you can have it as low as you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
if you want to buy one, Nina, it would probably be a wooden H-frame easel that can go up and down, and then you can stand and sit. If you are working out of your one-bedroom apartment that you share with 4 people or whatever, you may want to have a tabletop easel. So let's stop. Let me stop this conversation for a second and segue into something that I think is more important for everybody to, not important, it's related to what I'd like to talk to you about now, which is your dedicated art space. So the more you're probably finding, there are a lot of people on this call that do art several times a week. I know, because I see you. So at some point, you get, as you decide to get more serious about, and hopefully you're doing art even when I'm not seeing you. That's hopefully, that is the goal or the beginning. So if that is the case, and you're working from home, it is time to start thinking about setting up a studio for yourself. And when I say studio, don't get overwhelmed by that. Like, a studio can be a corner. Like, their studios come in all shapes and sizes. It's more just dedicated space where all your art materials are, or if you're working at a kitchen table, your art materials are kept somewhere where they're easily accessible and you can pop them up. It's better if you can keep everything up. Like, I know Jessica doesn't live in a giant place, right? Jessica does not live in a big place. But she actually, I'm assuming that, but I'm assuming an apartment is kind of a smaller location, but she has a
Tiny
pretty,
people, tiny.
yeah. So
tiny.
you
I
have
mean,
a
not tiny, but
dedicated paint
New
corner,
York.
right? You have a
Yeah.
dedicated paint corner. She's got like it
Wall.
separated off with a
Huge
Japanese
wall.
screen.
no, it's not even separated off. It's just there, but it's like basically the wall of my living room
Yes. So
and also the rest of my living room.
right. So usually what happens to artists is you decide to take up another living space with your studio space. So you should think about exactly what Nina said, which is what do I have in that space? How do I have it set up? What do I do? And so part of that is, I find that it's very helpful for me in my studio to have a place where my art is always, my setup is always there. I don't have to take it down. Right. So even if it's your corner. Yeah, Claudia.
Can I show you something, Leah? Because I just moved to a new apartment and I wanted to show you last week, but I didn't know it was the right place.
Let's
but my
see.
place is tiny, but oh wait, can you see it?
Is that all your
But
paintings?
Yeah.
Can we see you?
Oh,
Can we have, oh, lovely.
it's
Oh, it's
wonderful. Take a picture and send them to us, please.
Okay, I will.
Claudia found an apartment in Montmartre.
Oh my God, you're living in the artist district. Okay,
Yeah.
so Claudia just like landed in, it doesn't matter if your apartment is the size of a coffin. Place like there. And she's also pointed out something else. So the other thing I try to do in my studio is have up my work so I can see it. And also I like to have a couple pieces from artists that really inspire me. So even a postcard, just a printout, something that I can look up and see. So you want your materials to be accessible. So if you're working at the kitchen table, maybe a plastic bucket underneath with all the stuff in it and your easel to the side. But it's even better if you can keep the work up, put the work up when you're not working on it. So as you walk by, you can look at it and problem solve it. You keep working on it. The more,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just sent a picture of a rolling cart they actually do have at Michael's that are 3 levels and that you can just, and it's pretty small and you can push it away.
Oh yeah, it's good to have, I've found that it's good to, yeah, exactly, Nina. I have found that it's good to have things on wheels. Almost everything in my studio is on wheels. I had my boyfriend build it out as I started figuring out what I wanted. I have a giant 3 shelf that acts as a wall. That's on wheels because I like to move that around. I have all these little tables that are on wheels. My rolling cart is on wheels. Whatever you can put on wheels, put on wheels, because then as you start to figure it out. So it is important to think about a dedicated studio space. And it's okay if it's just your coffee table or your kitchen table. That's a valid studio space. So think about how I can get the things around. Think about how I can keep up my work. And an easel is an important part of that, because when you're working flat on a table, it's sometimes hard to see as your drawing moves away from you, it skews, right? The perspective skews. So if you can have something up flat like this that you're looking at, everything is in this, like this is in the same plane. They're next to each other. They're at the same angle. So it helps. So an easel helps you do that. Yeah, go ahead and take a picture of the space that you're working on. If you feel like it, I would love to see. That's coming along, Kyoko. It's great. So now just keep going around, getting the darks, getting your darkest areas. There's darks under here. There's darks up here. There's fairly darks here. And then we'll talk about how to start bringing in the fur texture. But get your darks in first, all your darkest colored areas. It looks great. Claudia, this looks so awesome. I'm so proud of you. And this is all her work. Ha! I love it. Her favorite pieces.
Yeah, I gave some to my mom, who also hangs them up in the living room. So it's
I-
really cute, actually.
I love it. Oh yes, Kyoko's taken a picture of her studio. Look at that. She's got yes, and of course you all also have to have a place to put your computer so you can watch the screen. That's also pretty key. I
My
like it.
stuff is like-
Yeah. Everybody, take a picture of your workspace and send it in. I'd like to see it. Just to see it. Let's take a look at it. Wonderful. This is a great discussion. Nina, I'm so glad you brought this up. It brings up such a deeper issue, which is how to kind of make art a priority in your life. And part of it means making space for it. And I'm pretty sure it's all women here. Notice how hard it is as a woman to make space for what you love, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's really hard. I think even if you live in your own space, it's hard for you to give yourself permission to make space. So it's good to think about, where is my dedicated art corner? Where is my dedicated? Mine is in my garage. You know, I got bigger. I had to my work got bigger. It dominated more. You know, it dominates. So I need an actual separate space. So I turned my two-door garage into a studio. I'm thinking about even renting a bigger space when I start moving to bigger work that can't actually fit through the door of the studio. So, either that or adding a bigger door in the studio. Something has to happen. So think about what will inspire you. We know that it's hard to kind of show up for art, right? It's tricky to show up for art. Sometimes we feel like it, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's really hard. Some days you're really struggling, other days you're not. So what will help you show up for art? And that is to have a dedicated space, to have things in it that inspire you, both your own pieces and also other artists' work that you really like. I always have an Artemisia Gentilici print hanging up somewhere in my studio, because usually of her beheading some dude.
Yeah.
She did a lot of that. She's one of my heroes, right? So is Mary Cassatt. I actually just have a book of Mary Cassatt that I'm constantly going back to. Have things from, and I also have quotes up. I have a different quote up. I just taken the one down, and I'm not sure what I'm going to put up, but I usually try to have one or two quotes up from artists that I love, just to keep me inspired. Because the more you kind of invest in art and the process, and the fact that it's around and you can look at it all the time, I think that's a really good thing if you can set it up. So yes, would love to see everybody's where you're working, regardless of whether it's, you know, fancy or not.
It's a good thing that it's the pandemic right now, so we have no guests, because
Yes.
I've taken over
Yes.
the room.
This is the guest room, right? Diana has taken over her guest room. Oh, nice, Diana. I've always wondered what it looks like. Vanessa, I like it. Very spare and like, yep, I like it. It's enough. It's enough space. Julia, nice. So a lot of you are working at the same space that you do your regular work. Yes? So that's interesting. Yep, Nina, very nice. I love this. This is so cool. Oh, Tina Brown, yes. Okay, that's okay. It totally works, Cindy. Oh, a sunroom. Yay. Oh, how fun. I like it. So let's let ourselves be in, right. Your momentary studio is the outdoors. Jessica is the anti-studio painter. She'd rather have the outdoors be her studio. All valid. So think about, so if this is your workspace, do put up something that reminds you of art, even when you're working. So that when you're like kind of shifting, and if there's a place, if you're always at that terminal, right, working, maybe put up your latest drawing or painting somewhere that's sort of right in front of your terminal, like sort of behind it, so you can keep looking at it and see it. I think that's great. All of those things, it's, I had to actually, I do a lot of business because I run this little art school, and I do commission work, and I paint, and I sell, and I market all the time. So half the time in my studio, I am not painting. I spend about half the time painting. I have to spend the other half of the time running the businesses. So I actually rearranged my studio so I have a separate space that is just dedicated for, work, the marketing work, with the desk. I realized actually I didn't have a place to sit down in my studio properly and work. So setting that up was really important to me in terms of getting it, but also I can see when I'm sitting at my desk doing my marketing, I can see the current painting that I'm working on all the time. So I'm looking at that current painting and deciding when I have time to get to it, that I am going to, what I'm going to do. So I'm always kind of halfway looking, even so I can see, even though I'm working on, I don't know, Facebook or social media or emails or whatever other bullshit has to be done, what updating my website, like whatever, all the crap that needs to be done. I'm always looking at my painting, the current painting. Or often I have 3 paintings up at the same, I have 3 easels, so I have 3 paintings up at the same time. So I'm looking at them all while I'm working, and I'm kind of problem solving. So that is, well, I'm working not on my non-painting stuff. Painting is working too. And by the way, how's it going today? I love these. These are great. You'll just see that the more energy, nice, Jane. So you're at the kitchen table. So yeah, Jane, it might be nice for you, or maybe this is not the kitchen table. It looks like the kitchen table.
Family room, actually, there's an extra table here.
Nice. You might want to invest in a tabletop easel to put there so that you can put it next to your, just literally like right next to your computer. Yeah. And be able to draw up, just depending, right? It's just the more we invest, it's kind of like going to the gym, right? As you go to the gym more, you realize, oh, I need a better gym mat, and I need better gym shoes, and I need yada, yada, yada. I need all these things. And the more you invest in it, the harder it is to back out of it. It's the same with do it in little pieces. I'm a big believer in absolutely set up the space where you're going to do it with the least amount of fuss. But then after that, as Tashween said, keep working on it. Keep working on it to make it even more homey and more like a place you want to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of neat, huh? Thanks for bringing that up. What a fun thing to talk about. Yeah, so here, hold on, I'll be right back. Go ahead and send stuff over if you guys need it.
Okay, my sheep is still like an underpainting.
Excellent. Let's see. I've kind of stopped working on my drawing. I think you guys get oh yeah, Diana, that's really coming along. I like how you've adjusted the lamb on the right.
Oh, good.
To fit, it really reads now as farther away. Nice, Kyoko. Keep on going. Good job. That's looking pretty good. Nina, this might be your best drawing yet. I feel a little bit, I'm looking to see. I think, Nina, and not to be nitpicky, but I'm going to be nitpicky. You need to make your eye bigger, longer than you have it. It's actually, if you look at the shape of it in relation to the box it's in, it fits almost all the eye is actually almost, the iris of the eye is almost all in the entire box. So bring this eye down more, bring this white, notice this white area comes all the way to the edge of the box. So build up the white shape, the dark shape, this little dark triangle, the iris, right? And bring that up as high as it goes. It's high enough, but it didn't go low enough. And I'd say, yeah, it's this side that needs more work. But nice work. Oh, all right, let's see. Sandra. I think his nose is too long, but let me
Yeah,
look.
that's exactly the conclusion I come to.
Yep. So, and it's not wide enough, not quite wide enough yet. So actually, Sandra, you made these eyes the same size. They're the same size. This one's a bit bigger. This one's
The
bigger
one on the
than
right
this one.
needs to be bigger.
Yeah, the one on, well, yes, I'm looking at it upside down. So if you're looking at it upside down, the one on the left needs to be bigger. If you're looking at it right side up, really look and notice the relationship. I think you've got the and then notice the space between.
I think
So
the space
it's like,
between is okay.
yeah, 1, 2. So I think
I just
this,
made it bigger,
yeah,
but
this is pretty big space. Like this space, this sort of, if I go from here to here, right, the edge of the eye to the edge of the eye, and I line it up, it is the medium dark part of the nose. Then there's this white area before you get to the eye. So I think the nose needs to be a little bit wider and this needs to be longer. And bring the nose up a little bit. If it makes you feel better, you can see here, I brought the nose down a little bit too low. But better, but I still feel you've got his little personality.
well, it looks like a cat. I'm not sure it's this cat.
But you're starting to get a little bit of his ferocity. Okay, Cindy, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Pay attention to how much of this eye takes up how much of this space.
Right.
I'm going to send this to you
Not quite
upside
high
down
enough.
so you can really, you make everything's a little bit too small. I'm going to send this upside down, this rectangle, so you guys can see what is included in it. Just the rectangle. See it? Here, hold on. No, you don't, because I haven't sent it yet. Really look at how much space. There you go. Wait, dang it.
No.
Here, now, there we go.
Okay.
Looking good, Jane. Yep. Just keep on going. Good job, you guys. I don't know, Sandra. I think actually what's interesting is you've got this cat's personality. So you've got the shapes right enough that you're getting the cat's expression.
It looks very different with a shorter nose. Maybe I made it too short.
Send it over. Adjust the eye and then we'll see. All right, let's see, Vanessa. Good. So Vanessa, there's something off. The eye looks good. The eyes look good. The nose looks good. Yeah, just keep going, actually. I think you're in good shape.
Leah, what tips do you have for making fur look like fur instead of just like a block?
Let's talk about that. Hey, Rasha, this is great. Great job. It's okay, Rasha. I mean, think about it. This is a beginning drawing class. So if I had just handed you this picture and told you to draw it without any help, you probably wouldn't have managed to do anything. You've done pretty well, like super well,
Thank you
considering.
for the positive reinforcement. 'cause I'm
Yeah, like just
oh,
notice that what
one.
happens, I know you have to run, but what I want you to notice is what happens when you all of a sudden your expectation about what you can do gets more. So you tend to criticize rather than look at like yourself, rather than look at what you've actually managed to get right. So this isn't too bad. It's all, right?
Yeah, I do that all the time, actually. So I'm not surprised I'm doing that here too. That's a personality.
Oh, it's
trait that
nice. It means your
we work-
expectation about what you can do has just jumped up, right?
Yes.
All right, we'll see you.
But thank you. I look forward to coming back next Saturday. This is fun.
Wonderful. Kyoko, this is looking great. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how we handle fur with pencil. Not my favorite medium, but an easy medium. So Vanessa, one of the things I think that will help you, by the way, is to push your light and dark contrast. So make your darks darker. If you have a B pencil, you might want to try that. If not, just, push harder. So when you're dealing with fur with pencil, once again, like every other area, you're looking at the edges where light meets dark. So where you add sort of pencil detail, you can see I'm kind of working in this area right now. In fact, I'll just, oh yeah, I've already sent it actually. So let's look at this rectangle. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to resend it over so you're looking at it. So as I'm coming into this area, right, like this, I'm looking at, okay, what's happening here where the dark meets the light? And I can see this is quite dark in here. And I can see that the fur kind of comes. So where I'm really paying attention is kind of creating a little ragged edge where light meets dark. And then up here, where the fur is a little bit more divided, I'm kind of coming in a little bit. I'm not trying to draw every one. No, actually, let me bring this down a little bit because I think I can actually, this will help for you. Oh yeah, that's much better. So you see, I'm really looking at what the edge looks like, where every light area meets a darker area. And then instead of trying to do this, I'm not doing this, right? Because A, this gets rid of my light. And B, you can't draw every bit of fur. But in a few areas, I'm bringing my dark kind of down. See that? Or I might even take my eraser in and pull up a little bit. So where I really focus my energy and my attention is on where the major dark areas meet the major light areas. Then I start to have a sense. I don't try to draw, it's all about edges. So basically that's the lesson. So now here's this dark stripe above it, right? So now I'm also kind of paying attention to what happens when this dark stripe meets this lighter area. Remember, Vanessa, how last week you were like, what I get is the more gray I see, the more gray there is.
Yeah, it all looked like just one shade of gray.
And then you realize there really are 50 shades in there.
Yeah.
So you see, and then I see, oh, okay, I can see that like the dark kind of, it comes out a little bit here at the base. So see, I'm not really sketching in, but I'm creating this sort of furry edge with my pencil. Is this helping to watch this?
Is it like feathering sort of?
Yeah,
or?
I'm sort of feathering. Let me see if I can get in even further so you can see. Yeah, I'm kind of feathering. So I'm holding my pencil like this on the side. Oh yeah, let me actually put up my other, here, I'll put up both up here. So you can see from the, hold on. Instead of explain, see, I now that I am like doing something, it's hard for me to speak and use complete sentences, but here, I'm gonna put this up so you can see this, right? So you can see both how I'm leaning. So see how I'm kind of leaning and I'm feathering. So if
Got
I
it.
want to go harder, I come closer and I push harder. And when I want to go lighter, I kind of switch my pencil so that my hand is holding it farther out.
Cool.
See that? And but I'm really focusing on where one area meets, where a dark area meets a light area. So I think that's the biggest thing to take from this is just where just go to the biggest dark areas. So this is an important dark area, right?
Mhm.
And it's a pretty easy one to get in because it's like, it's the dark next to the light. And then there's this dark triangle here. And then in here, when you look into, Sandra will be really able to tell you this. When you look into your iris, you'll see that there are actually several shades of gray. Here we go. So there's kind of this area. Let's see, I think it kind of comes up to here, the light. There's a lighter area. There's a darker area. Then there's this reflected edge, right? So as I come in here, it's generally true that the iris is like, the iris is darker at the top and lighter at the bottom. That's true. It's the way light hits it. And it's also the fact that everybody has eyelashes that cover the top and stick out. So they kind of, so it's a little, things are a little bit more shaded. And if you'll see here, I kind of prefer, I'm not as big into, pencil marks as other artists. So I'm automatically taking my finger and shading it. That's, and sort of smudging it. So it's got a smoother texture. Now that's not something you have to do, right? That's not something you have to do. And actually doing it with your finger is a terrible idea because you get finger oil on there and it makes it like less.
Oh, shit.
But this is kind of the way. So you see how I'm kind of making it darker here. And then I've got this, I could use my eraser. I use my eraser a lot to pull out the light shapes once I add in my dark ones. And then here, and I can see that like, I can kind of lighten this. I can get it light. I can lay this in, maybe get rid of this line where light meets dark. Can you see how how this eye is starting to have a little bit of form? Because I have this light, medium, dark, light transitions. If you want to get really anal, in this middle of this dark spot is a kind of medium spot, right? So the closer you look, and this is really how like artists who are realists do it, they just keep getting smaller and smaller in their shapes, in their differences of their shapes. And now here I am at a white fur texture. So once again, I'm kind of like, I'm getting rid of this line and I'm adding an edge. So see how so I'm just continually looking at transitions. Great questions, you guys. Is this helping a little bit with fur and texture? So I'm kind of going, I also try to pay attention to the direction that the fur is going with my marks. So notice here, I'm kind of going in and pulling out my lights. I might get a little bit darker here in some areas. So It's really not about sketching in every fur. It's more like looking at the areas where light meets dark. And looking at the bigger areas first. Yeah, now we're starting to like kind of see some depth. Does anybody want more on this? Or does that start to help? That's good.
That's helpful. Thanks.
Yes.
Oh, look what just arrived
Oh,
from
Oh,
a friend in England.
who did this come from?
From a friend in England.
Oh, for your birthday.
Yeah,
It's your
Happy
birthday today?
tomorrow. The
Oh,
cats are gonna have a field day.
oh my God, that's awesome.
Happy birthday in
Thank
advance.
you.
Hey.
And thank you for contributing to my animal thing fund.
Aw,
Oh, yes, of course.
course.
We're all there. The cats rule.
The animals rule our world.
My friends used to call it the Kohlenberg socialist zone, where everyone is equal, including the animals. Actually, in truth, the animals are more.
Oh.
I'm trying to be a little bit Casati and do the details in the face and not anywhere else.
Nice.
I'm gonna send you this now and see
Let's
what you
see.
think. All right.
Kasat.
You thief. Can't take my
Love it.
pencil.
Yes, Kasat. She's the one.
I'm at the color stages now.
Whenever I'm stuck on something, I go to her. Except when I'm working on cityscapes, then I do other things, but.
Somehow it doesn't translate.
Doing this. So once again, while you guys are engaged in this, if everybody's okay working on their own, I'm still going to continue to play with lighting. So hang on, I'll be back in a couple.
You my little sheep.
Oh, okay.
See what you say, but I probably need to be even more detailed in the face.
Yeah.
I can't see.
Yes, I see
And
what
put
you're
tail
talking
in your
about.
drawing.
So to really cassette it,
Yeah.
I like how the face is looking. I feel like there still needs to be some variation in detail in the body. And I think it needs to be, Diana, where the dark fur of the sheep meets the white fur.
Okay. That makes
So
sense.
if we can get
I
a little
didn't
bit
pay
of that,
attention
a
to the
little bit
body.
more detail,
Yeah,
where
I
the, sort of the little flakes, the little garland of dark around the neck on either side.
Okay. That makes sense.
Then I think that will, oops.
Do you
Sorry.
think the face works as it is, or should I work more on the face?
I think you should stop working on the face right now and then work on that just amount of right detail to get that. Yeah. But I love the face. I think the face is working out really well. So yeah. So the body is almost there. I wouldn't do anything to the light part of the body.
Okay.
Leave that as it is. Just really work the edge, because this beast has these kind of sausage rolls, right?
Yeah.
For
yeah.
Oh, Sandra, that's better.
Oh, good.
Oh, Sandra, you're good at cats.
Yes. I'm just looking to see, I still want, let's see, 1, 2.
I widened the nose bridge and made the eye bigger
Yep. So get in
and shortened the nose.
Get in
and
the
made it wider.
darks. Yep. That's it. I think you've got it. So now it's just working. Get some of the darks in here, these sort of middle tones in here.
Right.
Where the bridge of the nose is. So probably the most detail, and I like how you've kind of conveyed, I feel like this is really working off here, right? So just look at the dark edges. Yeah, and you've done it. Yep, you're doing it. So yeah, I would say work the bridge of the nose next.
Yes, I haven't done the nose yet.
Get the most detail there, and there may be just very little else to do.
It's very difficult fur because it's very short.
Yeah, so you may want to do a little, so let's see, handling that. I'm just thinking about how I would handle that. I'm just thinking about how I would handle that. So I would once again really focus on the side of the nose, which is darker, right? And kind of comes in here. And the side of the nose on this side. So get those dark edges.
Right.
And then maybe just wider apart. I wonder if cross hatching might be helpful here. I'm just playing around with ideas. Just to get some of that.
People do like a bit of scrambling, but it's not like in
yeah,
pastel. It's
yeah,
not
it'd be way
obvious.
easier to do in pastels or paint. I tell you what. Totally.
But even in pastels, it's a bit hard because it's so short.
Yeah. So I would say play around with a little bit of cross hatching here.
Yeah, I think I've got something that works.
Yeah.
I'm trying to respect all the fur, this direction the fur grows.
Yes, exactly. So it kind of going, like I see it kind of going up and sweeping down.
In the middle, it's kind of grows.
Yep, it comes up in this little, right, exactly. It starts to come this way. So don't, and still without losing, but if you get too much in here, then you lose your, so kind of like a graduated crosshatch with most of the detail towards the edges where it gets dark. So it's kind of got this nice dark edge all the way along here. Make sure you can really see that. Yep. Yep, I see exactly what you're talking about.
You're putting your tail on my drawing. What I'm doing.
This was good advice.
Right? Once you get a little bit of that, it's, I was thinking that's actually looking at those, Diana, looking at those fat sausage rolls.
Yeah.
Is when I looked at it and went, we have to have another session to work on this painting. That's when I was like, we have to do that. There is no way to
I'm
finish.
putting in the sausage rolls now.
Yes, and they're kind of fun, and that really helps.
Yeah, it's fun to do them.
Yeah. We had a whole debate about, is this a sheep or a goat?
But now we know about how to tell with ears, right?
Yes,
Totally
that's
different
right.
ears.
Yes, so we realized that sheep
The
have the
goats has
same
got-
eyes, but the goat's ears are bigger and they kind of
Much
flop
longer.
down. They flop down more like a dog's. Sheep ears go out like a cow's. Cow's ears are big, but they go, directly out and up.
Yes, like the sheep here.
Yeah, now that I think about it, you can start to see it. And then it's really obvious, and then it's embarrassing. Hey, Jesus, how blind am I? Oh, goodness, gosh, we just have half an hour. Go ahead and send your stuff over to me as you're working on it, you guys, if you need help. Or if you just want to show us where you're at, or just keep working. You've got another beautiful half hour of, yeah, I know, right? Isn't it crazy? It's so,
That's
very enjoyable. All right, so yes, let's talk a little bit about, oh, and everybody in Europe knows that tomorrow's class will start earlier for you, 1 hour earlier than normal. That's because we go forward, we leap forward for daylight savings time, and your daylight savings time is not for 2 weeks.
Oh, so Leah, I won't be able to join you tomorrow.
Oh,
Some
right,
friends
because
are
you're going to be
taking me to lunch.
partying. You're going to be
Yeah, they're taking me
partying.
to lunch
That sounds wonderful.
outside. This is really nice. I haven't eaten at a restaurant in a year.
It's amazing.
Who
I
has?
went out to a restaurant last night. They just opened Oregon, and we went out to a restaurant last night, and it was so awesome. And the executive chef came out and talked with every table, and he was like, "I'm just so glad to be here. You can stay." It was like his first time back in like a year. Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm dying not to do dishes for like 24 months after.
Right? Tell it, sister.
I didn't know how much of a pleasure it was not to think about your dishes. It's just like, what?
Yeah, tips automatically get bigger when you start thinking about that. Like, you think, oh my God, there's so much work that goes into making this meal.
I think I'll wait till I'm fully vaccinated.
Yes, probably a good idea.
Having come this far, I think like a few more weeks, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it if it wasn't my birthday, but I'm happy to.
Yeah, but
I didn't know where I was going to be able to celebrate that birthday, so I'm going to enjoy it.
Yes. Just be careful.
Okay. I'm off for a minute because I'm playing around with lighting. I'll be right back with you guys.
Are restaurants open again in the US?
I think it depends. It's state by state. And like even within the same state, sometimes it's county by county.
Okay.
So, yeah.
LA opens at 25% capacity on Monday.
Right. So there's a limit on capacity as well.
Or
Yeah.
definitely, even if it's open, anywhere it's open. Well, I don't know about Trump states, but it's usually, because we don't believe in it.
Yeah,
But it's usually always at limited capacity. And very often, I think right now, like in DC, a lot of them are open only for takeaway. And takeaway, if unless they have outdoor space.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to a particular kind of restaurant? Because I have to admit, I love to cook, but
Actually, I'm not that interested in the food. It's American food. I prefer like Japanese and Korean. Usually, I always celebrate my birthday with Japanese, but these friends organized it for me, and it's because it's got nice outdoor garden. We can sit out, so it's much safer than sitting in.
I hope you get good weather.
Well, so it's not, we had amazing weather this week, like in the 70s. It's not going to be that, but it's still going to be sunny and high 60s, I guess.
It's good enough.
I suppose so. I mean, I'm going to bring a blanket, but it's been just nice to see friends. I haven't socialized or anything, you know. I've been very careful.
Sounds lovely. Enjoy.
Yes, I'm very happy to be celebrating, because really, the last time I celebrated was a year ago.
Yeah, and now you really have something to celebrate.
Yes, as well.
So you're still getting surgery or?
Yes, I am, unfortunately. They want to be really, really sure, so they remove the tumor site and other places they're worried about. And then the whole point is to analyze it and make sure that all the cancer cells are dead. And then I still have to do radiation, and that will depend how much, whether they found any live cancer cells. If they did, I'm probably going to get a lot. If not, I should get like just a few weeks just to be really sure that it doesn't come back. Because if it comes back, it's much more problematic. And I don't want to go through this again.
It's not gonna come back.
I hope
Cindy, this is
not.
looking great, by the way. Cindy's really coming along. I love this. You guys are doing great. As you can see, I'm not really having any luck. I have a third light and I keep trying to train it in different ways. The really frustrating thing about dealing with videos and lighting is that you can't have anything shining directly on this. When I do that, like this, see, it just glares.
You get too much of a glare.
Yeah, but I need to somehow, like, I have white all over, white things that it can bounce off. But as and I have several. Oh, it's just so annoying. I'm just frustrated. I can't seem to figure out how to make this. I wonder. Oh, and then there's that. Okay. Here, hold on, I'm coming back. Anyway, working on it. Yeah, send stuff over. I'm still here. I'm just playing around. Let's see. Oh yeah, Tashween coming along nicely. Let's see. So take your eraser, and if your eraser, if you've got one of those like little round erasers on the edge of your pencil, you might actually want to take so what you'll want to do is darken everything here and then bring your eraser in at a point, at an edge, so that you can erase in your lights. If you have like a white charcoal graphite pencil, that can also work. But erasing can also help. So let's see, when I say white charcoal graphite pencil, I know I have one right here somewhere. Something with it. Bless you. Yeah, so it's possible to get sort of white charcoal. I don't have one on me right now. I don't know where it is. I have it here. Seems to be rolled off somewhere.
Leah, I have one.
Okay, can you show a picture of what it looks like? It can be
Hang on,
very
let me find
helpful
it.
in this situation.
General's white charcoal should be in
Yes,
everyone's studio.
General's white charcoal. And notice, and actually what I'm also hoping to do is when we go to, we're going to stick with pencil really until June, but after that, we're going to move to different drawing mediums. We're going to use learn to use charcoal. We're going to use ink. 3 signs you may be emotionally. No, that's not what I wanted. So we'll, in the middle of April, I'm going to issue I've got for those who are in the US, I have an art store here that will send you a complete drawing supply kit for 10% off if you order everything from them. So those drawing supplies we'll start using in June. So give us plenty of time. They require a pre-order to do that. And yeah, I might add that actually to my list of things I want people to have, because it is a really good thing to have.
Lee, are you starting watercolors this month too, or was that in?
That'll be in April. So yeah, so the sort of general, let me sort of explain it because it may not seem very clear to people. There is a method to my madness. Those of you, this is a beginning drawing class. It's going to stay beginning drawing all year long. All the weekend classes stay the same, but everything else is what's called core curriculum, which means that at some point you are going to be, I'm moving you from one medium to the other, for a certain period of time. So right now we're painting using acrylic. I would have moved you to oil, but I felt like nobody here was really ready to do that. So it's acrylic / oil painting from January through March. And then April and May, we move to watercolor painting in all the core curriculum classes. You'll do that for 2 months. And then June through December, it's all drawing. So from June in core curriculum on, you're going to be doing figure drawing for 2 months. Then you're going to be doing portraiture. I know they're hard. It's okay. Anybody who's been on this class long enough can tell you that even if you're a beginner, you can get something out of it. We're going to do ink drawing for all of October for Inktober, sort of celebrate Inktober. And then we're going to move to pastels in November. So everybody's doing pastels all the time. And then December is class choice. You guys, each class gets to decide what they want to work on and what medium they want to work on. Now, if you decide you don't want to work in a medium, you can work in whatever medium you want. So Sandra, like we said, in fact, even though you could join any class and do any medium.
I think
but
I'm
if
gonna
you want instruction, right? Like if you wanted like the deepest instruction, you'll want to follow with the materials. But do what you want to.
I guess when we move to humans and we move away from
animals.
I guess I'll just be doing animals myself.
Yeah, just keep doing it and keep coming to class and keep doing it. I mean, Diana does what she wants to do. Sometimes she does a class, sometimes she doesn't. So you should also feel free, if you're self-directed enough, you should work on what you want to work on. I can still help you. But if you're more of a beginner, I recommend you follow along with me, switching the mediums. It's not comfortable. You're not going to get great at it, right? I'm going to keep switching you often enough that you're constantly uncomfortable. Okay, so my job is to get you used to being uncomfortable. Like, actually, that is like, and I want everyone to know how to do everything, because what you'll start to see is there are certain ideas that transfer through all mediums. You'll also see that you use tools in a specific way that's different than how somebody else uses the same tools. So you'll learn how to use all the tools. You don't have to be great at it. You don't have to overperform. The idea is to kind of get accustomed to the tools. Then you get to decide the tools that you want to use.
I'm interested in joining the watercolors class, but I've taken like 0 painting classes ever. So
yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be okay. Yes, all the core curriculum classes. If I am asking you all to go there, I'm going to really walk you through it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The same with the acrylic painting classes. I think pretty much anyone who takes an acrylic painting class can in some way complete it. Even if you're not, right? And it's okay also if you jump in the middle to not be good at it, right? It's not really, the point is not really to be good at it. It's to start to learn how to do it. So we have to go really easy on. So I wish Raisha was still here, because she does bring up a really good point. Hey, there's something wrong with this. And I'm like, actually, it's a pretty good drawing considering you've only taken 2 classes. We have to go a little easier on ourselves.
Yeah. I sent you a new version and now
Let's
I'm back on the background.
Okay.
So Leah, one question on watercolors is the list that's on your website. If I buy all that, am I ready? Or are there more things, like if I use tubes, do I need, like, where do I squeeze the paint out?
Is there not something that there should be a palette for squeezing the paint out?
Yeah, palette paper is the
There's
best.
no. There's
Not for watercolor.
Not for watercolor.
Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, no, there should. So I'm wondering, Jane, if you've seen the list. My list has everything on it. Here, hold on. I'll grab my Amazon wish list and I'll send it over the thread. Okay. So let me take a look and see what I did with that. It's here somewhere.
No, I admit, I did take a look and then I haven't retained anything. So
well, so it's all there. There's a palette for you to put there's a palette suggestion for you to put your paints in. Even if you buy regardless of what type of paint you buy, you still need a palette to mix your colors in. So it's all there. It should all be there, but hold on, let me look and see where
some of us are more of a beginner than others.
I don't think so. I think you're like, Vanessa said she's never done it either, so don't worry about it. Here, I'll send it across.
On top of a tray, and I was like, ooh, saran wrap.
Okay, Vanessa, that's coming great. So I just see you're just continuing to work, right? Just keep working. Keep on working. I love these.
Stop.
Yeah, right.
Question, but the edge of the fur keeps I don't know. It looks like it's extending beyond the body, but I can't exactly.
Yeah, I think the shape. I think this is the shape. Let me show you here. Here, hold on. Let me get back here so I can see what you're looking at. Yes. So this shape is the actual cat face. And then here is where the fur extends beyond. See?
Okay, I see it.
And then on this face, this is the body. There might be this is kind of the face in here.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, but once again, don't worry so much about it. More just be paying attention to transitions, right? Like you can see where the body, look at how dark it is here, right? Where the body starts to meet, where the face meets the sort of hair sticking out. So really pay attention to transitions. This part down here is very dark. And see the little furs sticking. You can kind of, if you look up close, you can see really where you see the most fur, sort of transition is here, this dark area. Okay, hang on. I'm looking for I sent something to coordinators. Let's see. So this is my Amazon wish list. Here, can I send this to here, I'll do this. Find it on my phone. Oops. Ah, here it is. Okay. So. I'm about to pop it. Everything's here. Just get everything. Or find, you don't have to get it on Amazon, but this is the list of everything that you need. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sandra, coming.
I think I'm pretty much done.
I say you're done. Yeah.
Can you take a quick look at mine too? The last.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
I'm just working the background a little bit.
Yeah, and on Diana, on our left side of the sheep, you might also want to get a little bit of that fat sausage roll happening in relation to the background. Just a couple on the white parts, and then you're done. And then I think and then you've Mary Cassaded it for sure. Good job, you guys, killing it. All right, so now I'm back. Still trying to figure out. Interesting. That was amazing. I have to just keep playing around with it. All right, we've got 5 minutes left. So go ahead and spend another 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes working on it, and then send it in wherever it's at. Nice, Tashween. I like the darks down there. Really helps. Maybe, what eraser are you using?
Yeah, I don't have the best eraser.
Can you break your eraser in half? Can you like break it in half and give it a little, yeah, like literally break it in half. Give yourself a little corner. Can you cut it? Cut it with your scissors.
Okay.
Cut it with your scissors. So you can give yourself a little corner that's clean and also, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, so instead of going head on, see if I have any erasers like that. You can just do the little edge. Strangely, I don't seem to have any square erasers, but we're all not above changing, changing our material to suit our need. So if you need to crack it in half, do it.
That was actually very satisfying.
Right? You're doing that with your drawing, right? You're breaking it apart into pieces and redraw. You're thinking about it, not as like a full cat, but as like dark and light pieces. So in a way, we're doing this already. So we can do that with our materials too. When I paint outside, I often use something on the ground to paint with. Like I might put paint on a leaf and attach it, or a twig, if it'll give me the texture that I'm looking for.
I have to say, Leah, I was really scared when you sent this photo.
Yeah.
It looked really hard, yeah.
And look what you did. Good job. I love that. I'm glad that you let yourself be a little scared. I think that's freaking awesome. Like, let yourself be a little bit intimidated, like, how is this going to go? And then see what you can do in 2 hours. I feel the same way. I do a gym class 4 mornings a week online. It's the teacher that I used to go to the gym for. She just does online stuff. I'm a little scared every time I start her class too. I'm like, what is she going to ask me to do? And you know, once in a while she gives me something I just can't do. I forget what it was. On Friday it was like, oh yeah, I had to do push-ups, push-up jacks. So that means fluting your, anyway, I can't even just, push-up jacks, plank, something. It was all at the same time. It was really hard. So I don't expect myself to do all of it, but like, I like that feeling that, oh, she could still scare me. So scare me just a little bit. Keeps me on my toes. Well, you did a great job. All right, everybody, send over your stuff or just hold it up if you want to. I'm going to remove the spotlight and I'm going to put you all in video view. Let's see, gallery view. Hold up your work. Let's see. Oh, Claudia, wonderful. Nice, Tashmeen. Nice, Diana. Oh, yeah. It's really coming. Great, Jane. Great. Oh, my God, everybody. Julia, great.
Yeah, Julia looks great.
Wonderful. Y'all nailed it. Great work today. Nice work today. Lana, good to see you. I didn't get to greet you at the beginning. All right, so we will see hopefully some of you tomorrow. I think we're going to do one more week of animals. Oh, no, wait, we're staying with animals until April. So we've got more. If anybody's got any animals they want to draw, send pictures, send them through the thread. and we'll pick one?
I have my sister's guinea pig. Can I send it over?
Yes, please.
I'll send it over. She's adorable.
Please
Okay.
do. Guinea pigs are freaking awesome. I love that. Oh, so cute. Also, they just make us happy, right? Like they're just kind of awesome. All right, you guys, great work today. Wonderful discussion. Nina, thanks for the, oh, Nina just popped off. Thank you for the discussion. Thanks for always bringing stuff up. Did anybody learn anything that they didn't know today? Or did they get anything out of this class?
I can't talk and draw at the same time.
It's really hard. That's good. It means you're in right brain.
It just takes practice.
It takes practice, yeah, but some days it's really hard. All right, you guys, wonderful work, and I'll see you all later, very soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
yeah.
Have a
Bye,
great
guys.
weekend.
Yeah.
Bye.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank
Sarah.
you.
Birthday.
Good
Thank you
birthday
very
present
much.
you got last week.
Sorry?
Good birthday present you got last week.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.